Browning, our great friend.
Me too. And he really could sing that
Played,
song.
and I think there's a recording of Bruce doing the fishing song with Casey Lipe somewhere. But anyway, Casey, if you're listening, you might can shed some light on that. Anyway, good morning, ladies, gentlemen, and friends and neighbors. We are so glad that you have joined us this morning. Right, it's fall. It's the end of
It is a gorgeous fall day.
It's so nice. Now, Carol, I traveled all weekend. I left on Thursday. I spent Thursday night in Boonville, Friday night in Boonville, Saturday night in West Point at Old Waverly, and then a lot of things happened. It was a bunch of my high school friends that I sort of got together with this weekend. In Boonville, I was with my great friend Bill Barnett. And we, speaking of catfish, we went out to eat at one of Boonville's finest restaurants, the Front Porch, owned and operated by Ricky and Dewana Prather. And Dewana's dad, Bob, owned and operated the restaurant before she and Ricky got it. And before Bob got it, it was the old Reese Court Inn. Reese Court was a little motel, and this was the restaurant at the motel where I, for the first time, ate comeback dressing. They had little plastic comeback bottles.
That was your first experience?
Yes. And oddly, it was in Boonville. Yeah. Because we think of it as a Jackson tradition.
A great thing.
Indeed.
But, Mal, I love just the whole idea of a family restaurant, of a restaurant that's handed down. You know, that's hard stuff.
It is. And their son runs the kitchen, so it is a true family business. There aren't many of those around. So, and anyway, so if you go to North Mississippi, and particularly if you go to the Front Porch, you will order the traditional catfish dinner. Now, I love fillets. I'm crazy about thin fried. But the traditional North Mississippi catfish dinner is whole fish, the small ones. Fingerlings. You get 2 or 3 with fresh cut white onion slice and lots of lemons, and of course hush puppies. So that's traditional. And now the thing about these whole fish, Carol, is you have to score them so that the seasoning and the frying penetrates. You know what I'm talking about? The three scores on the fish.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. So those are, to me, the components. Scoring whole fish, deep frying it, having that giant, thick slice of white onion and a bunch of lemon to squeeze on the fish.
Mel, I'm puzzled here.
Okay.
Number one, I'm not from Boonville.
Right.
So are these whole fish farm raised?
Yes.
Or are they what... when I lived in Illinois, up along the Illinois River, the big thing was whole fish, but it was channel cat.
Yeah.
And it, too, was, scored and fried and crunchy. So these are whole farm raised.
Yes, they are. And they're the
Mississippi
smaller
farm
ones.
raised.
Oh, absolutely. Whether you go to the Catfish Hotel on the Tennessee River, or go to Penn's or to any of these catfish restaurants nowadays, all of it is farm raised because of the volume that they have to do.
Okay.
So, yes, in Boonville at the Front Porch, you will get Mississippi farm raised catfish. And my particular favorite is the whole fish.
Now, is that what they have at Catfish Hotel? Is it a North Mississippi thing or a Boonville thing?
Well, you can get fillets in these places if you want fillets, but I'm just saying that for me, my money, my taste buds, I go for the whole. So anyway, that's what I had in Boonville. And then I was off. We went to the Boonville Tailgate Homecoming on Friday night at the city park. And then Northeast had a game on Thursday, so I spent some time on the Northeast campus. And then we were off to Starkville, West Point, to gather up with other high school classmates, Carl Loden, Rick Reinbolt, Walter Smitherman, and Teresa Martin. And we all stayed out at Old Waverly.
Wow.
Which I'd never been to before.
So gorgeous. I had the great honor of getting to do some work up there a few years ago.
Well, it's a gorgeous place. I just had never been out there. And so we stayed there, and then We'd go into Starkville for the game. We were headquartered at our classmate Teresa Martin's brother's house, Jimmy. It's less than a mile off campus, a beautiful, historic 125-year-old home in Starkville. We were headquartered there. We had lots of food, lots of TVs, plenty to drink, and we could walk to campus and back. And the whole group of us went down to campus almost that morning around 10 o'clock and spent the day traversing the campus, listening to the band warm up, to the drum line, the tailgating. And Carol, my favorite dish at the tailgating was a Texas dish known as Texas caviar that my friend Rick Reinbold made and brought from Dallas. And I was doing a little shallow dive into Texas caviar, and I discovered that this is a dish that was invented and created by Chef Helen Corbett. And I said, Carol, do you know anything about Helen Corbett?
You thrilled my soul. You thrilled my soul. I knew Helen Corbett, of course, by reputation as I was a child. She was the head of the Zodiac Room at Neiman Marcus. And this was at the heyday of Neiman Marcus. And she was the one that created poppy seed dressing. And, I mean, it was just the ultimate experience to get to go to the Zodiac Room. So when you texted me this morning, have I heard of Helen Corbett, I ran to my bookcase and found my 1967 copy. It was my mom's. Her name's here. 1967, Helen Corbett Cooks for Looks. This is one of her many cookbooks, but you had a much deeper history.
Well, I just got curious about her. I'd never heard of her. And, first of all, let me say that Texas caviar is also known as cowboy caviar. It's a popular Southern appetizer and side dish made from a colorful mix of black-eyed peas, black beans, corn, and fresh vegetables like tomatoes, bell peppers, onions, and it's all tossed in a tangy vinaigrette created by Texas chef Helen Corbett in 1940s. Is a versatile, healthy, and flavorful dish. I probably ate a gallon of that over the weekend.
Yeah, I just love the backstories on these things, how people can have such an influence on our food, because that's something that is in a lot of people's repertoire now for their tailgates and gathering. But to know that good old Helen Corbett, who was really
she
one
was
of
a
the
New
first,
Yorker, but she ended up in
chefs.
Texas.
Yeah.
Right. She was very much a celebrity
and she was
chef.
my first celebrity.
There you go.
Celebrity chef. But didn't you say that she also was at the Driscoll?
The Driscoll Hotel in Austin, Texas. She ran the food service there for a number of years.
And the Houston Country Club. And
yeah, she was
the bomb.
She was everywhere. But anyway, maybe we'll do a deeper dive into Helen Corbett at some point. But, it's a couple things. It's National Coffee Day, September 29 today. And it is October the 3rd is National Caramel Custard Day. And you know how I love caramel custard.
That's a worthy day.
Worthy. But October 5 is National Apple Betty Day, sometimes known as Brown Betty. And we got into talking about that this morning, that apple custard, apple crisp, known as a Brown Betty, a tip to the African-American culture that created this dish. It's sort of baked apples with seasoned sweet breadcrumbs.
Crumbs on it. It's a little
and it's
bit
layered,
different
right?
From a crisp in that it's layered. And the recipe was first published in the 1860s.
Wow.
There's, somewhere behind it, there was a woman named Betty.
Of course.
Another, food history.
Indeed it is. So we're celebrating, on October 5, we'll be celebrating National Apple Betty or Brown Betty Day and celebrating that dish. Slightly different from a custard and different from a crisp, which has oatmeal, I believe, in it, right?
Yes.
And instead of just the top being browned, the Betty has layers.
Yep.
Of
maybe Kara would make us an apple brown Betty in celebration. Now, I tell you what on the list really got to me was October 1st is Homemade Cookies Day.
Yeah.
Now, how do you think that happened? I mean, there's not like a homemade cookies lobby or...
I don't know, but
know.
every Monday
It's worthy.
at MPB Think Radio, Monday is Cookie Day.
And today was extraordinary.
You had two. Tell us about them.
I can't believe you saw me.
I saw you
that
go
second
back.
one.
Kevin Farrell, our assistant director of radio here, every Monday, I know our regular listeners know this because we always talk about it. He makes cookies. And today, what did he make?
It was a cranberry lemon cookie. It was soft and chewy, and it was absolutely delicious. I don't see him standing around, but we could find out how many
He's in the
years
building.
he has been doing this.
He's been doing it a long time. He's been doing it ever since we've been on the air, which is 6 years.
And I think it
How long
started,
have we
he was
been here?
reading a book, maybe it was even a mystery novel that
Correct.
that had recipes in it.
Correct.
And now it's a thing, so people come from all over the building on Monday morning.
And Kevin has announced his upcoming retirement. So my question to the staff of MPB Think Radio is who is going to take over the Monday morning cookie making?
You know, we might have to do a rotation or something.
Who's going to be in charge of it?
Ooh,
Somebody's got to take charge.
that's a big responsibility. I don't know.
No doubt about it.
But, he has introduced us to the world of so many different kinds. Like, for me, an oatmeal cookie is my best friend, or a Toll House cookie. But he has just expanded everybody's world. I mean, we've probably tasted 150 different.
Easily. Well, before he gets out of the building, we'll get him back in here to recap his cookie baking history and story. And maybe by then the staff of Think Radio will have decided how they're going to carry on in his absence. Meanwhile, we got a radio show to do, Carol.
We do, and I forgot, Malcolm, I come with a gift this morning.
Oh, boy.
You came last week with wonderful pumpkin bread. I bestow upon you muscadine jelly made from muscadines at Go Away Lodge.
You were
on
up
the
to your
vines.
elbows in muscadines. Was it last week? You said
a few weeks ago.
they splattered all over the floor. They were all over your clothes.
I had this old-timey grind.
You were swimming in muscadines.
Yeah, I was swimming in muscadine juice, so there you go.
All right, here it is, folks. I get a maiden jar of Go Away Lodge muscadine. Is it jam, jelly?
It's jelly.
Jelly. I'm excited about that. So I'm also excited about the two guests that we have coming up. In the next segment, we have Martha Allen Price from Extra Table. She's going to come and tell us about the great work that they are doing around food insecurity in the state of Mississippi. And then we're going to have a great friend, Chef David Cruz from up the north part of the state. We're looking forward to catching up with David and seeing what's going on in his world. We welcome you to join the conversation. It's easy. It's toll-free. It's 1-877-672-7464. Or if you don't want to talk to us on the phone, you can shoot us an email at food@mpbonline.org. And we're also, we're on YouTube. If you're interested in seeing what Carol's wearing this morning, you can dial into YouTube, or you might want to see what Martha Allen is wearing. But anyway, we're going to be right back after a short break and more Deep South Dining right here exclusively on MPB Think Radio. Thanks for listening, neighbors. We'll see you in a short few.
When the weather turns severe, when breaking news affects your family, when Mississippi needs answers, MPB is there. We provide real-time emergency alerts, trusted news coverage, and live broadcasts of emergency updates. Available on TV, radio, and online. MPB is on the air and by your side every day of the year. Because when it matters most, Mississippi turns to MPB, Mississippi's trusted source. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Together through the years, together in the future. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Everlasting, the Legacy Podcast, is a brand new companion podcast to the MPB documentary Everlasting, the life and legacy of Medgar Evers. Join me, Rita Brent, as we dive deeper into the story with exclusive interviews and conversations about the enduring legacy of Medgar Evers. Everlasting, the Legacy Podcast, available on the MPB app or wherever you get your podcasts, with new episodes every other week. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Welcome back to Deep South Dining here on MPB Think Radio. Mountain White, Carol Palmer.
Hey, Mel.
Good morning, Carol. So good to see you.
Good to see you, Mel.
You got a text on the break. And
I did.
You were going to share with us.
Well, I love it that we can do this, and it also makes us so happy to know that people are listening all over. And we got a text from Charlotte Duck Pelton,
Our good
who
friend.
lives in Florida, in
That's right.
East around the Jupiter area, I think. But
I think that's right.
she said thanks for the memory of her first experience with the caviar, the Texas caviar. And this shows how things morph.
Yep.
Was in the famous Southern Hospitality cookbook written by Winifred Green Cheney.
Yeah.
It was really one of the first Southern living books, and at one time it was their best-selling cookbook of all times. Anyway, it has morphed by 1976 into Mildred Reynolds Mississippi caviar.
Oh, my goodness.
So Texas caviar is now Mississippi caviar, and that called up a great memory for Charlotte of her mother giving her the book in 1976. So, hey, Charlotte.
Hey, Charlotte. Thanks for listening. We need to get you back on next time you come through the village here. We'd love to have you. Speaking of cookbooks, and I had not planned to talk about this, and I'm just going to mention it. While I was staying at my friend Bill Barnett's house in Boonville, which was his parents' house, on the hill there south of town, I was digging through his mother's cookbook collection. His mother was quite the entertainer. She had a repertoire of great dishes, and she entertained a lot. She organized the first tea party I ever attended on her courtyard at this same home.
How old were you?
I was in high school, probably a sophomore.
They were trying to teach you manners and
They were.
etiquette.
How to hold your little finger.
Yeah.
To sip the tea. So, but I was digging through her cookbook collection, which is in the room where I sleep when I go to see Bill. And in there, Bill and I had been, I don't know why, we were talking about the Presbyterians in Boonville, and that they no longer had a church. The congregation had dwindled to the point, I don't know how we got on this, but we were talking about Presbyterians. And lo and behold, as I was digging through Bill's mother, Martha's cookbook collection, there was a 1948 edition of the Boonville Presbyterian cookbook.
You were predestined.
And I dug it out,
find
and I went in there and I told Bill, I said, look what I found in your mother's library. So anyway, let's get on with the show. We are so happy to have our great friend Martha Allen Price join us from Extra Table. Hello, Martha. I guess you're in Hattiesburg. Where are you?
I'm at Hattiesburg at my desk today. Only day this week I'll be sitting here.
You got a lot going on.
Yes, we are busy at Extra Table. That's for sure.
Well, kind of give us the overview. I mean, others have heard, food insecurity, the reason for Extra Table, the good work that y'all do. Just give us the sort of recap.
Yeah, so we are 15 years feeding food insecure Mississippians. So Robert St. John, a restaurateur in Hattiesburg, founded Extra Table in 2009, and we are a non-government subsidized food bank. We're not a food pantry. We're like the parent company. We're the food bank. So we fundraise in order to purchase new, healthy, and shelf-stable food that we deliver to 66 food pantries every single month to their doorstep for free. So we're currently spending $95,000 every single month on food.
Wow. Do you
Yeah.
Could an elementary school who has a food pantry be a candidate for this?
We do not partner directly with schools.
Okay.
We do, our bylaws state that we partner with food pantries or soup kitchens where everyone in the community has access to it. So if everyone doesn't have access to the school, or I always get questions in the summer about, do you support camps like basketball camps, or do you support adult daycare centers? No is the answer. Our bylaws tell us that we support standalone food pantries or soup kitchens. Therefore, all the public can take advantage, because that's what our dollars are there for. Raised by Mississippians for Mississippians.
And so, of the 66 pantries, do you go from the top to the bottom of the state, or are they mostly concentrated in one area?
We are pretty much top to the bottom of the state. I'm looking at the map over the top of my computer right now. We're not in Alcorn, Benton, Tippah, or Prentice. We're not in DeSoto and Tate yet. And then there's a little spot like Grenada, Carroll, Choctaw, and Chickasaw right there where we're not. And then basically there's only a white spot or two open on our map throughout the rest of the state.
That is amazing to see how much you've grown. That is totally amazing. But talk to us about overall food insecurity in Mississippi, the why, and where we stand nationally.
Yeah, so we teeter between 1 and 2. We're typically the most food insecure state. We're also one of the poorest states. We all those negative Nancy things, we're on the top of those lists, and we're committed at Extra Table to changing that, to making pendulum swing change. And we know with the way that we work so efficient and effective at Extra Table, we have the ability to do that. The stats tell an ugly story in a beautiful state full of beautiful people. 52% of the 1.9 million households in the state of Mississippi are something called ALICE. And that means asset limited, income constrained, but employed. I had to think on that one. It's early Monday morning to be
very early for that.
Very early for that.
That is just a chilling statistic. That is just
chilling, Carol.
Takes your breath away.
It does, because those are the folks that are working. Those are employed moms and dads that are trying to put food on the table for their children. And, we look and ask ourselves all the time, what more can we do? What is the impact of our work? And we know that if we can get families around the dinner table, there's a Harvard and a Columbia study that show that if families sit around the dinner table, children are 40% more likely to make A's and B's in school. So if we can get the proper food out there to those kids so that they can actually hear the teacher over the sound of their stomach growling, then we can really start creating pendulum swing change.
Wow.
Talk to us about the philosophy of the healthy food. You have you just don't do it. Yeah, it's not people giving cans of food that's expired from their pantries. I mean, we're talking a program.
Yes, we are. And Robert is a very creative guy. And the day that he created how Extra Table works, I truly believe it was a stroke of genius, because it's so different from how others work. So we do not do just generic canned food drives. We want your dollars. And we say meals matter, but dollars make the difference at Extra Table, because we use our bulk purchasing power to feed more Mississippians and to put more food into our food pantry partners. So we purchase truckloads of peanut butter, truckloads of pasta, truckloads of, fruit in 100% juice or low sodium vegetables. So Carol, our commitment is to kind of 2 birds with 1 stone, to feed those food insecure in our state, but we're one of the most obese states as well. And so as we're fighting hunger and food insecurity, we're going to knock both of those. So all of our food is shelf stable. It's the same stuff that you and I have on our pantry shelves at home. So rice, beans, pasta sauce, peanut butter, green veggies, fruit, oats, canned tuna, different canned proteins, canned salmon, canned chicken, all that kind of good stuff. I just purchased a vegetarian chili for the fall to be one of our soups, and it has 22 grams of protein. So I'm super fired up about getting that in and getting that into the hands of our hungry neighbors.
Do the clients receive the food packaged, the people that come for food, or do they like shop on shelves?
So it depends on what food pantry that we're talking about. So all of our food pantries have different names, different personalities, and are set up with rules in totally different ways. And they just commit to us that they will store our food properly and distribute it properly. So they can do it how they want. Like I know in Oxford, they get a shop. In Greenville, they don't. And when I say they get a shop, they get a certain amount of items. And so that's it. It's just different at each pantry. But our pantry directors are so in touch with what little Bobby eats and what any, allergies within the family, or that so-and-so is back home from college. You aren't getting anything by Miss Annie that runs a food pantry. She knows it all. So I laugh and say there's no secure organization than a food pantry run by some good volunteers.
Well, speaking of raising money and funds, you've got two events coming up pretty soon here, and we're going to let you talk a little bit about them and explain to our listeners how these fundraisers operate. You've got a bourbon festival coming up October 9 here in Jackson at the Mississippi Museum of Art, right?
Yes, we do. We're so excited. It's the 5th year for our bourbon tasting, bourbon festival in conjunction with Lincoln Road Package. Jamie Ferris out of Hattiesburg is the bourbon aficionado. We'll also have Bo Bounds there. So we're so excited to have those two fellas talking bourbon. But it's a great event. It's October 9th at the Mississippi Museum of Art. Starts at 6:30. Your tickets can be purchased at extratable.org. But imagine live music, a live artist, an online auction, ladies on stilts, a bourbon-themed menu. It's all the things. We've got Mulu Cacao coming this year, a fine chocolatier that has, roasted the the chocolate beans all the way up to making chocolate, and she'll be pairing chocolates with bourbon. So,
wow.
Yeah, our dear friend Stafford Sheridan's going to be there too.
Stafford signing his new book, Meat, MEET, and 3 is his upcoming book. One more quickly before we run. You've got another event coming up in Cleveland, Mississippi, right? That's October 23.
It's October 23rd. It's a Thursday, and Dave Cruz will be there with some type of fabulous soup again this year.
All right.
This is our 7th annual Empty Bowls, and due to the Delta State Art Department closing, the Delta Arts Alliance stepped up in a massive way. And so all of our bowls this year there's some that'll be made by local potters, but the majority will be made by Bolivar County school children that are painting and decorating our bowls. So again, tickets are available on extratable.org, but you get a bowl of delicious soup, maybe by Dave Cruz, or others in the area, and bread and dessert and tea. And it's just a lot of fun to walk through, pick your bowl, and visit with all of your friends.
Well, we've got David Cruz on the line here. David, do you know what soup you're going to prepare for this event yet?
I do not yet. I've got about 15 events in between now and then.
What did you do?
Haven't made it to that
we're
yet.
Taking a call.
What did you do last year, David? What did you do last year?
I did a gumbo last year. I've actually done a gumbo 2 out of the last 3 years.
Okay. The same one or a different one?
Different one.
Uh-huh. Which one? What did you do?
So the first year I did sausage and chicken, and I think last year I ended up doing duck.
Okay. I love a duck and andouille.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, baby.
Anything Dave cooks is good.
Well, Martha Allen, we're going to take a short break. We thank you for joining us this morning. Anything in passing and leaving that you want to share with our listeners? We appreciate the good work that you guys do. Shout out to Robert St. John, somewhere in Europe. Who knows where?
Sicily.
Just all the information you need is at extratable.org. Learn more or join us at one of our upcoming events.
Thank you so much. And we'll see you soon. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with Chef David Cruz, who knows a little bit of something about North Mississippi and the Delta. And we hope that you'll stick around. If you have questions for David, you can join us, 1-877-672-7464, or just sit tight and watch us on YouTube. We'll be right back after a short break.
On WJSU's Evening Jazz, host Meredith Michelle treats you to a jazz-tastic evening filled with traditional and contemporary sounds. Tune in weeknights from 7 to 10 on MPB Music Radio.
Donate now, right now, and become a member today, not tomorrow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Doesn't matter how big or small, but we prefer big. Thank you very much.
Hatred destroys the one who hates. The others that you have hated go on about their business. Care of us.
So the legacy of Medgar Evers is an understanding of our own humanity and of our own responsibility of seeing that in other people.
He is written out of history. He's just not included as Malcolm and Martin. To me, it's the 3 M's, and Medgar is right up there at the lead.
Everlasting, Life and Legacy of Medgar Evers. Watch now on MPB Passport. Visit mpbonline.org for more.
Every parent wants their child to grow, to explore, and to dream big. At MPB, we're proud to support families and teachers across Mississippi with trusted educational programming and resources that inspire learning and spark imagination. From PBS Kids favorites to digital tools and early learning support, MPB is here for young minds, engaged classrooms, and families who believe in the power of learning at every age. Empowering families, inspiring learners. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Have a great friend of the show and Chef David Cruz, who hails from somewhere in the Delta and or North Mississippi.
He is the Delta.
And Carol, he's a chef by title, but a line cook at heart, someone I can relate to. David, welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys.
And for our listeners, this is one of the hardest working men in show business and the culinary business. And when you talk about giving back, you're talking about David.
Yeah, he's omnipresent. I mean, and I love that about David's work. He's everywhere, and he gives and gives and gives. So, David, where are you actually from? If someone says, man, where are you from?
I'm originally from Cleveland, but I live in Boyle.
Okay.
So,
well, the suburb, yes.
Did you grow up on a farm?
I did. My family's third or fourth generation farmers here in the Delta. Came down in the late 1800s from Arcola, Illinois area. And my dad still farms the same land.
Wow, that's cool. Now, when I first crossed paths with you, you were an instructor at Mississippi Delta Community College's culinary program. Are you still there?
I'm still there. I think this marks year 19.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Man, that's the Lord's work. You know, I grew up a junior college guy and went to Northeast Community College. And my brother, Hal, was in the first class of the restaurant, motel, culinary program at Northeast. You know, I'm a big fan. We have a scholarship at Hines, and we have a scholarship at Northeast, both in the culinary programs. And so, anyway, I appreciate that work that you do. Tell us a little bit about that, what that's like.
You know, so it's kind of a fun, it's been a fun journey. So we've recently moved our culinary program to Greenville, into the bottom of the GHEC. We have a brand new state-of-the-art facility. It's unbelievable. I always tell people I worked on this design for about 10 years and never thought it would happen. And then 3 years ago, we made the move from Greenwood to Greenville. Program's awesome. And the great part about the program is, and this is the beauty of the community college sector, in my opinion, is that it makes the community that you're in that much better.
Wow.
So
Indeed.
forever we were in Greenwood, and I would walk into places like Lusco's and Gardenia's and Fanta Johnny's, and I would see all of my kids, and thus bringing the level of food one notch higher. And it's happening in Greenville right now. So, I mean, we've got students that are placed at Harlow's. We've got students that are at Sherman's on Main. We've got students at Doe's. So it's bringing that level of food in the community one step up.
And that's beautiful. Hey, we've got a question from a listener. Chef Chaz Lindsay has this question for you. He said, ask Cruz if he purchased those ducks for his gumbo legally or if they came from his backyard, and did people have to pick out birdshot when they ate the gumbo?
Well, I'll be real honest with you. If you're not picking out birdshot out of your gumbo, you're not doing it correctly.
Good answer, David.
That's great. Well, now, is the Delta... what's it called? The club?
Delta Supper Club.
Supper Club. Is that still going on? I know you created that.
So on a fun note, we're fixing to get to year 10, and we've been quiet for the last 2 years for a reason. We're relaunching it in October. We're going to make some changes. Obviously, COVID threw a wrench in everybody's kind of thought process in the culinary world. But we spent the last 2 years making some really, really interesting moves. I'm gonna kind of be tight-lipped on it because for our 10-year anniversary, which is actually happening in about 20 days, we're gonna make a fun announcement and kind of tell what the future of Delta Supper Club looks like.
Okay.
Well, tell our listeners about the past. I know I was invited to one in an airplane hangar.
Yes.
So tell us some of the unusual places and the fabulous chefs you've had, and about the concept.
Right. So in 2013, I was traveling a whole bunch talking about Mississippi seafood. And everywhere I went outside the state of Mississippi, people they just talked horrible about the state of Mississippi without knowing anything. And after a trip to Alaska, I came back and I said, you know what, we need to figure out how we can show people from outside the state of Mississippi what we know and love, especially in the Delta. I always joke, if you meet anybody from the Delta, that's the first thing that they tell you, is they are proud to be from the Mississippi Delta. So we decided to come up with a concept that would highlight the Mississippi Delta, highlight food, highlight culture, kind of bring everything together with a lot of little fun kind of nuances, such as we were in a historical location in the Delta. I mean, we hit Dockery, we hit the airport in Greenwood, where you went to. We took over the downtown area in between the bridges in Greenwood. We went to the New Roxy. We went to the Ellis. We went to the downtown train station in Cleveland. Just some places that are culturally significant to the Delta. And then chefs, we've had chefs from New York, Tomas Curry out of New York, Michelle Bernstein out of Miami, a lot of New Orleans chef, Slade Russian and Corey Barr. A lot of those guys came up. But the goal was that we wanted to share the culture that we love as the Mississippi Delta with people outside. During the height of it, we used to joke we had members in 25 states and 2 countries.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was a hot ticket.
Hot ticket.
Yes.
Now, David, I also crossed paths with you again, I believe was at Dockery Plantation. Did you not cook for the Roseanne Cash concert?
Did.
Yeah, I thought so.
I did. I did both Roseanne Cash and Tedeschi Trucks. So I've done the Dockery family foundation's food for about the last 15, 20 years.
Cool. That's good stuff right there.
You've also been just a great part of the Southern Foodways Alliance. I remember years ago, when you come, you bring students and
right.
All those extra hands feeding all the Southern Foodways Alliance folks. So are you still involved there?
So not as much as we used to be. We spent a decade. I can't remember. I think we started in 2004 or 2005. And we would take 2 to 3 students down there, and I joke, baptize them by fire, because if you've never been to the SFA behind the scenes, it looks nice and pretty on the surface, but it is nonstop for 4 days. Feeding 500 people breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's a lot. Now, you attribute a lot of your success, or at least you often compliment those before you. You talk about John Currents and Derek Emerson.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about how those guys influenced and paved the way for you.
Well, those guys, 25 years ago, were making strides. We're highlighting Mississippi food beyond just soul food, and that's awesome. What John did at City Grocery and what Derek did at Walker's kind of, in my opinion, paved the way for all of the chefs that kind of came after, because it gave them a platform that was above just soul food. So those guys, and those guys are still killing it right now. Derek just opened probably one of my favorite restaurants, the Sacred Ground in
we hang out there.
Yeah, that's great.
And it's classic Derek. I want to figure out barbecue, so I'm just going to immerse myself nonstop into barbecue. If you go by there now, he's still, shoveling wood and shoveling coals into it to make sure that everything's perfect. So those guys, kind of set a bar for me to try to attain to.
And he's about to open a new place. I think it's called Masa. No, it's called
Mesa.
Mesa.
Yeah, Derek's actually going to open three.
Okay. Well, I know
all in that same area.
One was Little Effie's.
Yes.
In the old cultivations, and
Correct.
then where Eudora's and Fine and Dandy were, he's opening up Mesa, which is going to be sort of a Tex-Mex operation. As I
But
understand.
what we love about Derek, when he was thinking, kind of getting his thinking together on Sacred Ground, he's kind of like, an ADD. He said, I've just got to have something. He said, I've got to have something new. I get bored easily. And we told last week when I was at Sacred Ground a couple of weeks ago, he was practicing tortillas. So he's, on to the next thing, building his skills and doing. He's just a fascinating guy.
Oh, no doubt. So, David, you did some cruises for a while, right? Are you still involved in the cruise ship operation?
Yeah, so this makes year 3. So Steve Azar and I, along with a great team, came up with an excursion from Viking River Cruise. So they stop in Greenville, and I feed them a 4-course meal, and Steve does a concert, and we do it every Thursday and Sunday.
Wow.
So it's 384 people, 4 courses, got 52 minutes to do it.
Do they come off of the boat, or do you go onto the boat?
So we get them off of the boat and we take them to EE Bass. So the goal is that we immerse them in the culture that is the South.
Wow.
Well, y'all have done a lot for tourism and putting, good people in the kitchens. The economic development of the Delta, which we so need.
Yes.
No doubt. And you've cooked for Herbie Hancock, of all people.
Yeah.
I know, I saw that.
That was kind of a fun one. So that was actually a co-birthday party with him and Morgan Freeman.
Oh, really? So you did it at Morgan's place?
No, we did it at Dockery.
At Dockery, okay. Wow.
We did it at Dockery. Because I didn't realize that Herbie and Morgan were classmates at one point.
Really?
I had no idea.
That was the story. That was the story they told. It could have been a great story, but that's what they told.
So did Herbie get down on the keyboard?
It's the most amazing thing that I have ever seen in my entire life.
So the answer must be yes.
I've never seen someone that you would think. He was older at the time, but when he sat down and his hands hit the piano, it was absolutely magic.
Wow.
Always one of my favorites.
Yes.
Now, David, you also have done some of these TV cooking on television, Cutthroat Kitchen, and some of that stuff. Talk a little bit, and Food Network stuff. Talk a little bit about that.
So I've done Food Network twice. I always joke I spaced them out 10 years apart to kind of get over the first one. The hardest thing that people have to realize about those type of shows is they are shows.
Right.
Not always does the best chef win, but not always does the correct technique. It's who can make the best make the best TV. So I did in 2013. I did Cutthroat Kitchen, and then in 2023 I went back and did Supermarket Stakeout. So they were both fun. It's always good to get out there. I always like to show Mississippi in a positive light every chance I get, and if I can do that on national television, that's one step better.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah, tell us about some of the dishes that you've had to do on television.
Yeah, so the first one, I'm kind of thinking back. The first one was probably the craziest because we had to make potato skins. And if you've watched Cutthroat Kitchen, you got to sabotage everybody. And I was given potatoes that had already been pre-skinned.
Okay.
Ooh, weird.
And the other guy was given my skins.
Oh man.
So just kind of the diabolical side of it, and it's one of those ones where that's where your training and your techniques and your knowledge comes in, and you just adapt.
Now, according to your bio, you got kicked off of Cutthroat Kitchen because your pad thai was too spicy. Now, what's that about?
And we joke about that. I have a client who is Thai, and I have never made anything in 20 years of cooking for them that is too spicy for a Thai person. I mean, I have made things that you can barely put in your mouth without just crying, and they eat it with an absolute straight face.
Yeah, when you go to the Thai restaurant, they have the little symbols. You have the one
Correct.
chili pepper, 2 chili peppers.
Yes.
You're 3 chili pepper hot.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's Thai food. I mean, it's supposed to be. And like we always joke, I went back and watched my episode, and you see me eat it and then realize it's not hot enough, so I add more. And Jet Tila evidently had been away from Thailand for a little while.
That's
good.
funny.
So tell our listeners where they can find you. I know you do so many things, but if people are curious about your story, want to make contact with you, I know you're a private chef as well as a caterer, and you do all kinds of stuff because I follow you on Instagram and I see all your great stuff. So tell our folks where to find you.
Yeah, mine's super easy. Just go to chefdavidcruz.com. It'll talk about all the stuff that we've got going. I always try to keep it updated from event spaces and private dining to a little bit of everything. So that's the easiest way to find me.
Cool. So you're telling us that the Delta Supper Club will reappear in some form soon. Is that right?
Very soon.
Well, will you keep us posted so we can spread the word?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What about the 6-shooter Land and Timber? What is that?
So that is a hunting camp that I have run. I think this is my 20th year.
Oh.
Being a 6-shooter. So we always joke when I get to duck season and deer season, I become a ghost. I've run 3 different food operations for duck and deer camps. And 6-shooter was kind of the first one. Those are the guys that 20 years ago when I was just kind of coming into my own on the cooking side of it, they were the guys that said, "Hey, look, we'd love to have you out here cooking with us." So we joke, we call it the Back Porch Club. We've got a huge back porch where all the guys go deer hunting in the afternoon, and the kids and the wives and some of the guys sit on the back porch with me and talk, and we cook dinner, and then when everybody gets in, we eat a big 4 or 5 course meal and have a good time.
Do you do that solo, or do you take a crew into these hunting clubs?
I always do it. I always do everything solo.
Okay.
I'm a glutton.
A glutton.
Well,
for
I guess
punishment,
also you
yeah.
have access to the students at the culinary program if and when you needed help, right?
Well, exactly. Yes.
Malcolm, I think we need to go sit on the porch.
Come on.
And have a little duck gumbo or some duck poppers.
I like it. It
could be a off-site live event.
There you go. Maybe we'll go live at the supper
really,
club.
It's a really great idea because the culture of Mississippi and the culture of the Delta, the whole duck culture in the winter is such a beautiful thing.
Right. I do love duck. I don't know so much about hunting them, but I'll leave that to David and his pals. But David not only hunts them, but he kills them and cooks them into delicious dishes.
Absolutely.
What's your favorite duck? What's your favorite duck dish?
So I do a duck popper. I know that sounds very simple, but it is best dish I probably do from a duck hunting standpoint. And it's super simple. It's just a fried duck with a kind of a sweet and sour sauce that I make. I bet we have gone. I couldn't imagine how many thousands of ducks we have gone through with that one dish.
You deep fry the breast and then and put this sauce over it.
Yes.
What's your process for frying? Do you dredge once, twice, buttermilk, regular milk?
Well,
how do you do it?
So I do a marinade or a brine in hot sauce and buttermilk for about 3 or 4 hours, and then I take it out, and then I standard bread, go flour back into the wash, back into the flour, and then sit in the refrigerator for about an hour. and then I fry super hot. 375 to 400, super, super crispy so that it's not cooked all the way through. And that way when we toss it, you still get that nice soft meat. It's not chewy or overcooked.
What do you use in your brine? Or you don't have to tell us exactly.
No, absolutely. So mine's super simple. It's buttermilk, salt. Believe it or not, I do use MSG and hot sauce. So I let the vinegar and the MSG and salt kind of start breaking everything down. And then you get a lot of that flavor of the hot sauce.
So you brine, batter, refrigerate, then fry.
And
how long in the refrigerator?
I usually do an hour, but truthfully, it's kind of, that's usually the first thing I do. And it depends on somebody kills a deer. If somebody kills a deer, dinner goes from 6:30 or 7 till 7:30 or 8.
Yeah, you got to scramble into deer processing mode. Well, David, we got to run. We sure do thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you out there and about. Good luck with all of your enterprises.
Yeah, and stay in touch. We want to talk about your stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we thank you for joining us today. That was Deep South Dining, and we are a production of Mississippi Public Broadcasting's Think Radio. We are here because of your generous contribution, and we thank you. Please consider making a contribution to shows like this. Just visit mpbonline.org or show your support by using the MPB app. Our show is produced by Marissa Vaughn. For our special guests, Martha Allen Price, David Cruz, and my co-host, Carol Palmer, I'm Malcolm White saying thank you, and please stay tuned for Everyday Tech at 10, Southern Remedy at 11, and please join us every Sunday and every Monday morning at 9 a.m. for more Deep South Dining on MPB Think Radio.